What were you most excited about for your new team, client experience team, right? Where you guys are doing that. First of all, I would say tell people where you guys come in the process and when y'all exit the process, and then what everything is that y'all do for clients during the process.
Yeah. So the client experience team really comes in after onboard. So sales agents are still answering all those technical questions. They're building that rapport, that trust with clients. They're talking about pricing, and they're really just kind of going through the dream and the vision with clients. When they come on board, we really take them on as coordinators. So we want to walk them through each part of the process. One of the hardest things for clients is they come on like guns blazing out of onboarding. They are ready to do everything day one. They want to do it faster than the process can move. And so our job is really to keep the excitement going, but to have them trust the process. So we take them out of onboarding, we get them into site visit and assess their site. And that's super fun because they usually get to meet maybe not their project manager, but a project manager. And so they're talking about site, house placement. They're really excited. And then we put them into design. We have an incredible design team that we work with that is fast, efficient, but they share the same core values as we do, and they have vision. They've been operating since the mid 90s. So they are experts in the field. And so they're helping clients navigate that design process. And we have a good time doing it. Super fun. When they're coming out of that, we're getting into the design center, which is where my heart and soul truly is. Being in the design center and watching people get creative, watching people walk through the kitchen and pick the colors, but they're really talking about they have a passion for baking and they bake with their kids. So we're talking about prep space. We're talking about double ovens. We're talking about flooring. We have clients that have special needs children, which I think all of us have a heart and a passion for. We support our communities big in that space. So we're talking about what kind of floors do they need to put down? What's ADA compliant? How do we need to warranty it? And so just designing their home around the way that they live, their home, so much fun. And, you get into the proposal, which we've talked about a little bit, but that transparency and trust that we've spoke about so many times on the show, just being able to lay out all of the pricing and let them take a look at it and then make informed decisions on where we need to make tweaks and edits. Sometimes we don't. They're just like, that's great. Sometimes we have a little more room in the budget. And I really love that because I'm like, oh, you have, like the old show we used to watch on HGTV. We have $50,000 left in your budget. Here's your 3 options. We can upsize this porch. We can, level up on counters or cabinets like you want to. And so I just love all of it. There's not one part of the process I love more, but just taking clients through and making it fun while we do it. And that's just something we don't want to be routine.
And so then you walk them through basically all the initial steps to get them to a point where they feel that they've maximized their budget. They've got what they were looking for. They've made all these selections and they're not just talking about an idea. Now they're talking about a real physical thing. And then it goes back into sales and then pushes out into the finance. And then how long do y'all hang around at all in that process as far as, once they say, yeah, I like this number, they sign, they do everything. Like when are y'all out?
We celebrate all the wins and we bring sales back in because that's the lifeblood, right? They've made the connection, they've built the trust. And so there's a ton of touch points where you're still working with your sales agent throughout the process, usually to celebrate all the big wins, which we love. And so after they come out of finance, we still have to go through pre-con meeting. So we get to talk with them about pre-construction meeting and what that official handoff is going to look like. And it's a bittersweet moment because it's kind of that last big celebration, dropping off the closing gift or coming when they get out of finance is kind of our last big handoff for that pre-con meeting.
Yeah, I'm excited about the team because it makes it more efficient.
It does. And consistent too.
Yeah.
So every client knows what to expect. And how many clients have we had where their neighbor is now going to be building that's a friend of theirs, or their parents or the parents' kids, they now want to build too. And so we don't want them to come to us and say, well, my best friend just built with you. My process isn't the same, or my experience hasn't been the same. And so creating that consistency, you're still getting a lot of different personalities. My client experience team has a lot of different personalities on the team, but they're all going through the process the same way.
And we have those in all the showrooms, and
yes,
and it's a process to build, right?
Yeah.
So what we did know is we have a lot of people that want to build barndominiums, and the sales team is crushing at getting people in the door. But it's a lot of work. And so, with sales trying to manage all that and stuff, like you hit a wall. And so as we grew, like it was perfect timing. And not only that, but to have someone who's taking the nuts and bolts pieces and moving through that process with them, and literally they're directly tied into all of these fixtures and finishes and everything, and they're educated on this, and they're not thinking about anything but this.
Yes,
is creating insane process improvement of the process and the time to go through it and the attention to detail and being able to really spend that time with those clients, and you're not competing for a different phone call or all these different things. It's not just a person managing 35 people. It's a team of people managing 35 people.
And that becomes a concern for clients over time too, because they can see how many clients are coming to us. And, we're not out cold calling or calling leads that we pay for. These are clients that are essentially putting their face up against the glass and like begging for 30 minutes of our time. They want to know what's going on too. They want to onboard too. But that back end process, it's a lot of admin work. It's a lot of structure, and sales team has people that are lined up around the block waiting to get an appointment. And so we're just an extra resource for the sales team.